And then the way that bass note came in here, that was the sexiest thing. It was just one note. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. Epiphany is from Bad Religion's 12th studio album, The Process of Belief, released in 2002, and apparently it's the first album to feature drummer Brooks Wackerman, who I had no idea played for this band. I did see him with Avenged Sevenfold many years ago. He's a great drummer, but I'll be listening for the bass playing of Jay Bentley, and I've always heard the name Bad Religion out in the wild. I've never listened, so I'm excited to get to them today. Here we go with Epiphany.
A new age of reason, brain treason to trick.
That's so beautiful.
What good is searching if nothing's there to find? We arrive at this place of no return, my brothers, only to discover that our minds have led us away so far from the paper truth of who we are. What's right is wrong, what's gone is gone, what's clear and pure is not so sure.
Wow.
Promises become a lie, all that's been night.
This is way more melodic than I thought when I think of my connotation of Bad Religion, maybe just the context in which I've heard their name. I'm sure they have some gritty punk stuff. I feel like that's what I thought they were. But this is such a beautiful mid-tempo, very melodic song. I think it's really cool how they built in with this really slow burn out of the intro. It's almost like, was there even a verse there? Because it built right into this kind of epic release of a chorus. So it's almost like they just had this intro. They established that chord progression with the bass and that beautiful glassy kind of trebly tone, but it still had a softness to it. And then it just kind of went into this chorus, this big ride to the mountaintop. Now, as I always say with these punk songs, I'm going to go back and hear the intro again because I never know if the intro is going to come back and be that isolated. And I want to hear it and be thinking about it as the song goes on. And my favorite thing about when punk bands use these bass intros, they use the basses for the intro. It keeps the bass on the top of your mind because it's the first thing you've heard. And I feel like I say this in a lot of videos, but it's my absolute favorite thing. Okay, here we go. Sounds like we're in D minor. Yeah, so D minor, just in minor thirds up here on the top two strings. Makes it a fourth, and then goes to like a C, B flat. Then it goes to the major 5, which kind of leans into that harmonic minor scale sound. And the reason they do that, and a lot of songs use the major 5, the 5 chord's usually minor. It would sound nowhere near as good if it went like this. That's diatonically what's supposed to happen, but they make the 5 chord major because that third is a half step away from where we started. Just a beautiful kind of melodic thing. Okay, and then he kind of goes down a fourth, walks that bass line down. He inverts the chord, walking back up to that chorus. It was just such good, subtle note choice. Let's keep it going.
A new age of reason, brain treason to trick the mind. What good is searching if nothing's there to find?
Yeah, this part. You have the guitar over here on the right channel with that little subtle layers they're adding in that almost snuck past me, but it's such amazing building. Just the songwriting build right here. Okay, I'm gonna let it go a bit.
We arrive at this place of no return, my brothers, only to discover that our minds have led us away so far from the
That note. I'll come back to it. Ooh, it's so good.
What's right is wrong, what's gone is gone, what's clear and pure is not so sure. All promises become a lie, all that's been night corrupts and died.
I'm very surprised.
Whoa.
They did bring it back. And, I never know if they do. But that was a weird twist to suddenly go major there on the 1. They're really straddling that light, dark thing here with a little bit of tension built in with that harmonic minor thing. They're really riding into the... And then the way that bass note came in here, that was the sexiest thing. It was just one note. Right there. He walks it up. Yeah. I think that's a whole diminished arpeggio. Okay, I don't want to dive in too granular on that, but I think I'm just really surprised at what I thought I was going to hear. Okay, back to this major thing. Right there. See how it goes major and brightens up? We've been in D minor the whole time. How cool. Sounds P-bassish to me, and I like that he's just kind of... The slides in between those intervals he's playing, I wouldn't really call them chords because they're just... But it's like that, if he's using that middle finger down here and he's kind of just sliding up a little early while still hanging onto a note, kind of like this. You get this like really distinct phrasing in the way he's kind of linking those together. And it's just kind of beautiful. It's very real sounding. Sometimes these like isolated bass parts can sound real robotic in some bands, and I like when they leave in a little bit of that scraping around. It adds to the dynamic nature of what it's going for. Yeah, that.
Come forth, bear witness. See the profit from your lost beg.
And I love the mid tempo. It's like a perfect tempo.
Only after you tell the cost. We arrive at this place of no return, my sisters. Only to discover that our values rise the ground on the show in the sea.
There he does it again.
We could be. What's right?
Ooh, that's so good.
What's come is gone. What's clear and pure is not so sure. Our promises become a lie. All that's been right corrupts in time.
That pivot to major is really effective. So what's interesting there is that it pivots out of D minor, which has the F natural in it. Then they suddenly go to the D major. And then the very next chord, I'm on an F sharp right here. The very next chord goes down to F major, which is like out of key. So they're just, again, they're straddling. I guess it's some like modal interplay going between D major and D minor. It's just really well done because all that little bit of diminished sort of tension. I mean, I think that's a straight up. The notes he's choosing on that walk up are diminished, but those little bits of tension kind of just blur the lines on when it might go major and when it might go minor. I just really like the songwriting, the way they're playing with those two sounds, and they sound like they're part of the same song. Very cool. Okay. Okay, had to hear that for a second. I like that the guitar parts, and I'd say even the drums, but naturally drums have a more transient attack, of course, but the guitars are kind of doing that bow, 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 just kind of a lot of sparse separation. But I can hear Jay under there elongating it, kind of contrasting it, but he's got these long kind of just exaggerated slides, like a... I don't know know the exact notes. It's kind of moving around. It's a little bit of a different progression, but just listen for that back there and the way it fills in the space created by the guitar and the drums. I think that's great writing. And it's nothing crazy. It's just effective at the note lengths and the articulations he's choosing.
Why do revelations fade?
Really good.
It's all so relative, subservient in total one's perspective. Yeah. What's right is wrong, what's come is gone, what's
That's the sexiest thing in this whole song. It's probably happened 3 times now. It is just such an amazing way to get into that really like regal, epic chorus. But that build up, the diminished sort of walk up, it's not truly diminished, sounds kind of half diminished. I think it's kind of an A minor 7 arpeggio, or A7 what am I trying to say? Yeah, just an A7 dominant arpeggio, but it has a diminished sound to it in the way everything's kind of pounding on top of it, giving it that tense feel. The guitar solo,
what's right is wrong, what's come is gone, what's clear
I really like that.
not so sure. All promises become a lie, all that's been bankrupts in time. Of Epiphany.
Really catchy, I have to say. Fade out's pretty epic too. What can I say? That wasn't what I expected at all. I thought Bad Religion was going to be more like a kind of Dead Kennedys, Fugazi, just raw. And I assume they probably have an aspect of their discography like that. You know, this is the 12th album. But it's really cool to be introduced into a band, maybe in not the typical way with Epiphany. And I asked our patrons over at our Patreon page, you should come hang out and do full album reactions. But we were kind of talking over there about it, and they were one of those bands where everyone threw out kind of a different song. And I honestly picked the longest one. We had some others, Turn Off the Light or something. I'm going off the top of my head. Epiphany was just almost 4 minutes, and I wanted to kind of have something to sink my teeth into. And what a great song to be introduced to the band with. Beautiful melodic playing. It has the staple of what I like about punk music. The bass starts the song. They use the bass to make the song big. And because the song starts with the bass, you're just aware that the bass player had a pivotal role in the song's development. And I think that just spawns a lot of bass enthusiasts out there. So I'm happy to hear this. It was great, good songwriting, and just way more melodic than I thought. It was kind of like the way Hot Water Music hit me. I just didn't know what to expect, and that song blew me out of the water just because of how melodic it was. I got to get back to them. And some of the patrons said there's just not a ton of crazy bass work with Bad Religion, but I'm all about a great song, and I think this is a great way the bass was still like a lead element. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Kind of rambled here at the end, but I think I'm just truly surprised. But yeah, come find us on Patreon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and let me know what other Bad Religion I should cover. With 12 albums, that's a lot of ground to cover. I love you all. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.